Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EBM Scholars. Today is October 7th, and I'm going to be live here to answer some of the most frequently asked questions. I do not know how many people are getting ready to apply for this DV lottery, but what I'm going to do is I'll answer important questions, what I call frequently asked questions here, and then I will go later to start responding to your questions. By this way, it will make easier for me, first of all, to answer important questions instead of jumping from one question to another question. So that will be the better way on how I can be able to go through this particular session. So if you have any question, either you can reserve it at the moment, or you can just go ahead and try to to ask me later, and I can be able to do that. So I'm having my monitor here, and also I'm using my phone to be able to do live session. So what I'm going to answer, it will be the frequently asked question from the beginning up to the end. So stay tuned, and you can reserve your question, because any question you are going to ask, I have ever answered or I'm going to answer. As I said, I don't want to jump from one question to another question in something which are going to answer those kind of things. So let me start. Question number one is, today is October 7th, which is the official start of the DV lottery. But something you need to know is, by being October 7 doesn't mean that you can go ahead and start applying right away. Right now I'm talking to this particular live session. It is 1:45 a.m. here in Kansas or Missouri, which we are using Central Time. In New York, which is Eastern Time, it is 2:45 a.m. So it is a long time to go until the application is going to really be able to start the applying. So there is a video which I posted here, which says what exactly time you can be able to check your DV application. So what you need to do is very simple. Go to the Google search and write the following words. When it is in New York, this way, when it is noon in New York, what time will it be? Then put your country or put your city, because each country has a different time zone, or each region different time zone compared to New York. Or I can simply say, because application is going to be opened at noon here in US Eastern Time. Even in US, we have 4 different time zones. We have Pacific Time, which is in the West Coast. We have Mountainous Time, which is Montana. Then we have Central Time here in Kansas, Missouri, Illinois. Then we have Eastern Time, which is in New York, DC, Virginia, and everywhere. So when it is noon in New York, it is 11 here in Central Time, which is in Missouri, which will be 10 a.m. In Mountainous Montana, it will be 9. So even 9 a.m. in Pacific, which will be in California and other places. So what am I suggesting to you? Find a way on how to know exactly when to apply. But again, this is the good thing I want to share with you. It doesn't mean that when you will be the first time to apply, you have to be able to win. So for those people who are in East Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, we have 7 hours difference with New York. So that means at 7 p.m. in the evening, that is when the application opens. In most of the West African, we have 4-5 hours, whatever, within New York. So you can see what time it is. But the easiest way to know exactly what time it is, just go into the Google search and write, as I said, the following words. When it is noon in New York, what time will it be in your country? You put it there, it will give you exactly time, and then you can be able to go about it. So I've answered the first question, which is the most asked question. Question number 2, which is most frequently asking question. What is the official website to apply for the diversity visa lottery? Because if you go to the Google search right now and write diversity visa lottery, or DV lottery, or green card lottery, you will find hundreds and hundreds of links. But some of those links are fake, are scam. The official link for the DV lottery, which was changed last year, now it is dvprogram.state.gov. Any website of the US government must have the word .gov, domain name .gov, which stands for United States Government Domain, official domain. So if you go to any website with the word .com, .net, .org, .whatever, don't apply to that website. US government doesn't affiliate with anybody, doesn't need anything in order to process. You can apply online to the official website and it is free of charge. That is something you need to understand. I'm going to another question, which is a frequent asked question, the question of passport. I know many people want to understand the issue of passport. I'm starting with what is the requirement and how does that work into this particular lottery. When we say the diversity visa lottery requirement, this is the new requirement which was introduced in the DV2021, meaning in 2019 application in October, the US government introduced the usage of passport. First of all, it has to be an expired passport. You cannot use a passport which has expired. That's number one. By expiration, I mean the date which is there. I will come to answer some of the questions for people in East Africa when it comes to the passport. The question usually they want to know is if my passport, because for instance, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and Sudan, they have new passport. If the new passport which we are going to introduce, the government said is going to be expiring in January or October, or in Tanzania has we are not using right now this one, but my passport is still valid for 2 more years. Can I use this passport? I'm going to answer that one. So the passport is only for the main applicant. Does that make sense? The passport requirement doesn't affect, they don't require passport for the derivatives, doesn't require passport for the dependents. Let's say I'm married, I have kids. If I'm going to apply as many applicant, I'm going to apply as many applicant with a passport. I'll put Ernest Boniface Makulilo, main applicant, my name, date of birth, passport issued, passport, I put the information. I will say I'm married to Marie Makulilo. I'll put her information. But because Marie, I'm going to put there as a dependent, as derivative, my wife doesn't need to have a passport to be included in the diversity visa lottery. When I say I have 3 kids, Benedict, Claire, and Faustina, the children don't need to have passport to be included in the application. You know why? It is a very simple reason. Those people are not applicant. They are going to be by default. If you win, they are coming with you. So the main applicant, principal applicant, is the one who is going to put the all information. All other people, spouse and the children, don't need to have passport. But the other thing is, what if your spouse also has a passport, your wife has a passport, or your husband has a passport? In that situation, the husband is going to apply, married to so and so, is going to be included in the application. Then the spouse is going to apply as many applicant, is married to so and so, is going to put the information. Because at that point, the husband is going to be many applicant and the wife is going to be many applicant. You have 2 chances of applying and 2 chances of winning. But don't apply twice. So that is something I want to make sure we understand about the passport as a requirement. It doesn't require the people who are dependents. It is only referring to people who are main applicants. Again, you cannot apply for the diversity visa lottery without a passport. Yes, in the application form, there is a place that is called a waiver. In that waiver, if you are watching this video, 99.9% you don't qualify for that waiver. Why am I saying that? Because of the following. In order to apply to say that you don't have passport, and because if you say you don't have passport, you are going to process and you are going to win. I know someone in Ethiopia won and applied to say I don't have a passport, but I guarantee that person will be denied the visa. I will explain why. If you don't have a passport, make sure you go and get a passport. The application is starting today, October 7th until November 10th. If you don't get the actual passport book, go and get what we call the emergency passport. The emergency passport is nothing, it's just a piece of paper they give you. This emergency passport or temporary passport is a passport you are using to travel around neighboring country, the neighboring country of your region. If you are in ECOWAS in West Africa, if you are in Ghana, you want to travel to Cameroon, or you are in Liberia, you want to travel to neighboring country, Gabon, whatever it is, you can get the passport because you have bilateral contract between one country and another. So it's a temporary passport, which is a piece of paper. In Kenya, you can apply, you can get within 2 days. In Tanzania, you can apply and get it 2 days. In Rwanda, the same thing. In Uganda, the same thing. Is a passport, temporary passport, to travel around East Africa, travel around West Africa in that particular region. The only thing you have to apply, you say you have a trip, emergency trip, they will give you, and it's very cheap. For those who are in Tanzania, it is just like $8. For those who are in Kenya, again, it's just like $8, $10 to get that passport. So it is very cheap, quicker process. Within 2, maximum 3 days, you are going to get that passport. It's just a piece of paper, but when you're going to fill the number of the emergency passport, there is what they call TP in the passport number. Don't use the word TP, start the rest of the numbers, because TP stands for temporary passport. So you just put the numbers. If you put it with a TP, it will not accept, because it will be too many numbers. It will start with the numbers with TP, which means like a temporary passport, and then the number comes. So that is something. Get a temporary passport. Make sure that you are going to use that one. Again, when it comes to the passport, the people who have exemption to get application and not have any problem are the following people. One, you must be a stateless person. If you're not a stateless person, you cannot be able to do that. By stateless person, it doesn't mean that refugees. Not all refugees are stateless people. There are very few people in this world, they are stateless. Secondly, if you are not stateless, you must be coming from a communist-controlled country. If you are coming from, let's say, Ghana, Liberia, Ethiopia, South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, whatever these other countries, which for instance, in entire Africa, there is no any country which is a communist-controlled country. No. So you cannot get the waiver. Thirdly, you have a letter from the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, or the letter from the Secretary of State. If you don't have those one, you can say whatever, you will win and you will be denied the visa because you did a fraud for that case. So you must have the passport. You don't have the passport, don't apply. Other question people are asking related to that: can you use a refugee passport? Last year, it was impossible. I do not know exactly for this year, but to my knowledge, I don't think if refugee passport will be able to work. I'm not so sure. So that is something I want to make sure that we understand about the passport requirement. Okay, I'm going to another question. The other question comes about the issue of marital status and the children, because people want to know, oh, I'm not divorced, I'm separated, I'm single, I'm unmarried. What all those things mean? Because it's very confusion. There is a very big confusion when you are going to do all those kind of things. So I want to break it down so that you can be in a position to understand what exactly do you need to do. Okay. In this way, I know someone like Mariam Nakalema asked a question: hi EBM, in case my ex-husband refused to give me a divorce, we just separated, what do I feel in marital status on the green card form? So that is some of the example. Thank you, Mariam, for asking that kind of question. While I'm going to answer this one, just general people to understand, those are some of the very important issues to address. So there are the following categories in the DV lottery when it comes to the marital status. Number one is unmarried. Unmarried means you have never been married in your life. Never. That is unmarried. Then there is the issue, that's number one. So there is no aspect about girlfriend, boyfriend, engaged, fiance, whatever. There is no that such thing. You are unmarried. If you are about to get married on October 8th and you are planning on October 7th, you are unmarried. If you want, you can wait until you get married or apply as unmarried. In case you win, you will be already married. There is no problem to include your wife. If the day you applied, you were unmarried, there is no problem. The problem is you say you are unmarried while you are married, and then down the road, you are coming to say, I'm married. You'll be disqualified. So number one is unmarried. Number two is if you are married and your spouse is a green card holder or a US citizen. So you don't, in that situation, you don't need to add the picture of your spouse. Then there is married, but your husband or your wife is not a green card holder or is not the US citizen. In that situation, whether you will come with your husband or you will come with your wife, you don't want to come with them, you are going to say you are married and you will put the information, the name, date of birth, place of birth, obviously the photo. There is no passport like travel document number for your spouse in that situation. Then it comes to the issue about being separated. So Mariam, your question will be kind of separated. But the only critical issue here is it has to be legal separation if it's a court. So remember, we are talking about the law especially applicable in the United States. When it comes to the separation, we want to be legal separation. But if you are saying, in your case, your husband, your ex-husband refused to give you a divorce, if you have documentation that you are separated maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, that means your neighbors know, your family know, your pastor or a sheikh or somebody, religious leaders or local leaders know that you are separated. Even if it's not at the court of law, you can apply in your case, Mariam, to say you are separated because you don't have the divorce yet. Even if it's not legal by court, but the institutions around you, they can say traditional, that is separation. But you cannot say a divorce, even if no matter what, in divorce situation, whether you are Muslim, you have to get you must get like divorce papers. Even if you are Christian, whatever it is, you have to get a divorce papers. If you don't have, you can go ahead and put it separated, I think. Okay, what if your husband or your wife has passed away, there is widowed, whatever, you're going to put that information. The punishment is, if you are going to apply and say, this is my wife or this is my husband, while he is not, you will be disqualified if you win. So if you ask me, what is one of the reasons why some people are disqualified in the DV lottery? One of the reasons why people are disqualified after winning is either failure to put the correct marital status. Either you say you are married while you are not, or you are going to say you are not married while you are married. So those are some of the issues. I gave an example last time of one person was denied because said is not married, and then when the application after the DS-260 said is married, at the US Embassy was denied the visa. But the other related question about marriage is, in the situation where there are some people, where the people they say, let's say, I'm Muslim, I have 3 wives. How am I going to apply? Don't do 3 applications, because some people they think, oh, I'm applying, I'm married to Amina. I'm applying, I'm married to Jane. I'm applying, I'm married to so and so. No, it's just one application, because the United States is only recognized one. Just husband and wife. Just like it's not polygamy in what I want to say. That means it's just one person. It's not like 2 spouses, whatever, 2 husbands, 2 wives, whatever. They don't recognize that at this moment. So what you need to do is, if you have more than 1 wife in Africa or in Asia for religious reason or traditional way, you need to make sure that you are going to put 1 person in that application, and that will be the application. But your spouses, if you have more than 1, they can apply on their own if they have passport and say they are married to you. It's up to them. But you as you have to say you have going to put 1 application, regardless how many people you are married to.